Dev, you know I'm slow to use words like this is homework for you, right? Super slow, super slow. Very, very much thought is put in before verbiage is the word picture, right? But this is homework for you. Um, I sent you what Jabir called the long video yesterday showing the um, showing the details of how I enter trades, blah 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 blah, and none of it is set to directly impress you. Just lay out what's happening in the background as we're cooking up. Press the button, press the button, press the button, right? So I want you to put that still in your to-do list for as I'm talking to you. I got a package that I have to go get back from Basil. I'm gonna have to dad him in a minute. I see what needs to happen there. Okay, so through the course of this process, there has been two different verticals that I have had the intention of deploying. I normally don't talk about these two because I don't like to try to convince people to move from what I see more normally, right? Unless it's a equal benefit for them, and then I gotta cast a vision for that, which is what's about to happen here, right? So one of those verticals is called the overage business, right? And I can do a lot for that. This goes back for me to Philadelphia, easily 2012, 13, right? But even more to that, I lost a house in foreclosure, so I should have had an overage. I didn't know about overages, yada, yada, yada. So that's that first part, right? The second is called judgment recovery. Since about 2007, 8, I understood what it was, and then all the things to go with that. Okay. This video I'm about to send you right after this is a video presentation I recorded from from a live and then stored yada yada yada, and it explains the overage business, right? Cool. I like Bob Diamond a lot, yada 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 yada. And I probably, in all fairness, should have launched it when my money was cool in 2019, 2020, 2021. So that's 100% me. I'm saying this to say to you now that what I'm structuring to do with our tribe surfer model, right, feeds directly into um, at the next scale. Like the thing that's showing up now, and this is just you having all the information ahead of time, is as we do the trading stuff, there is an inevitable probability that we'll make some level of result, right? Cool. Normally, it would be okay. Now you go do your part, I could do my part, which is still on the table, no big deal, right? But I heard how excited you was about the the grant business when I was driving and you were telling me about it with the idea of using a girl as talent, right? And the grant business just is a similar vertical, which is mainly internet stuff to do and then admin stuff to do, right? There's nobody that has to gut the house, physically be at the house. Nobody that has to all the things that somebody got to do, or no one has to drive to the place, right? So this is a intellectual business and online and admin business, right? So that's as you were talking about the grant stuff. That's the lane it drops in, right? You just got to know the space, blah 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 blah. Which is when I told you about the Mike Matthew Lesko, because just like Overages and just like Judgment Recovery, I've studied the industry, right? So I have some working knowledge, and it's then I just choose what I want to get super smart in, and that's what we're doing with trading, right? So anyway, as I'm building out, first Namsu, right, is person one. Patient zero, we're looking at the movie Outbreak, right? He's the fucking monkey, which only from Outbreak perspective, right? Patient zero, right? So I heard how that sounded as well, but I'm talking from what I'm seeing, right? Um, and as I'm mapping the piece out from proof of concept, which is patient zero, we then go to scale, okay? And so I had scale at from 1 to 5, and that's my interview with Namsu, which I should have recorded. And then and from there, 5 to 20, and then that's the pieces I'm describing, right? And so as we're going through that process, now because my priority still is what I'm doing in Chicago from a energy, time, focus perspective, right? I sent you that joint right there, and I'm actually reading paperwork. And while I was reading the paperwork, this sparked in my spirit. I'm honoring that cloud, and then I'm getting back to my paperwork while I got this fresh brain, right? This was off, this was off, and this was off until about 5 minutes ago. And then or maybe 7, because this, well, 10, because this video is 7 minutes long now. And then I'm getting this over to you. So explain these pieces on the chessboard. So it's like kind of like telling you why I'm about to make the move I'm making and why I'm looking at what I'm looking at, right? So what I've been charting for over the last 2 months is if, okay, taking a step back, taking my time because it's me and you. We went to the hatchery, which is the shared kitchen space for the mobile cafe business, right? Because in Chicago, you got to be attached to a kitchen to have any type of moving vehicle with food. It got to be a base where the joint's starting from, right? Blah. Me and bro and Jabir went downtown. They gave him the addresses. We went to the business development center of downtown. They went and told him the places that he could attach his mobile transportation shit to. We went to one of them, the hatchery, blah, 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 blah. So now as I'm watching the hatchery play develop, I'm getting that somebody got to be at the hatchery to let these motherfuckers go start their day. Probably going to be me, right? And in that model, I'm always evaluating, does this fit me or does this fit Jabir? That's how I evaluate stuff, right? And this is 100% me. And so we're now picturing, or I'm picturing, what time do this day start? And in order for us to facilitate and I'm gonna bring all this home for you. In order for us to facilitate a catching people going to work launch, the vehicles got to be out by at least 6, right? So they got to prep and then get themselves together. Let's say at least 5, which means I need to be there at least 4:30, 4 in my imagination, right? We were saying different times as we're going, but I'm following the process. So if I got to be there at 4:30, and let's say I'm driving, which is 99% probability, I'm leaving the house at 4. What time am I getting up to leave the house at 4? So as I'm evaluating this feels like it's going directly into my trade day. However, there's Wi-Fi in the whole building. There is tables and blah blah blah. So I'm saying, okay, if we get to it. So at the other office where we were running the business, John, I started with the laptop and then the 2 screens from the Jones you gave me, right? And then when I got comfortable though, I saw I'd rather have at least 127-inch with me, right? Which gives me Now thoughts in my head for that, because I can bring a 27-inch out the car with me, drive with one of those. This motherfucker ended up in my room, right? I had that picture, so that potentially, and then blah blah blah. So I'm saying, okay, if I get there 4:30, help these guys get access to the building at least, right? I can start charting. So that's where my brain is going, right? I can start charting. So now from charting, now they can go do what the fuck they got to do because I'm gonna be in here charting, right? Now from charting, depending on how the rest of that go, I'm gonna use Philadelphia. I'm gonna use Philadelphia time. So the market day for me to start trading for primary is 9:30, meaning the market opens at 9:30, like with or without me, right? And so primary isn't set to be something that I'm going to be using in the business model unless you fall in love with primary, because I'm not going to tell you you can't come watch me trade, and then we go from there. But that's so primary is from 9:30 to 10, and then the day starts from 10 to 12. So that's monetization window 1 is 10 to 12 Philly time, right? And then if I'm at the hatchery, right, I may or may not, because I don't know the model yet, and then I still got to be at a fresh brain. But if I'm talking to you, and I'm assuming that the fresh brain will be okay. But either way, that's monetization window 1 that pre-exists. So with that being the case, and the fact that I might need a nap, because I might not be at a fresh brain by the time I get to 9:30, 10 o'clock rather, I got it set to when would the next window I would use to trade. So this is what I was doing before we got this, just trying to make sure I can do the both things effectively, right? So if I got a yawn or something's going on, I got in my head I'm gonna go take the nap and then get up. And the next monetization window is from 1:30 p.m. to 3. Hour and a half to look for what I'm gonna look for. So that's monetization window 2. I'm only set to trade one of the two of them though, right? So as I'm now building out, now for this first phase of me and you, this is not, it's only relevant because I'm gonna say, Dev, I'm gonna trade this time, or this time, and then me and you do the thing. But as I'm talking to Dion and now I'm thinking scale, because my first thing with now I'm suing them was Jabir's talent, getting a proxy for the accounts, and then use copy trading, which is still readily available to us, right? Because nothing in that model changed. And then, however, that other business part gonna go. This set thing here is because I'm always looking for how me, you, and Dion can eat. Me and you, and then me and Dion. I don't think about the three of us as a putting a play together, but both of y'all are always kind of top of mind for me. With purple lagging right behind it, because with the purple stuff, I'm more got to tell purple when I'm ready than bring him in, right? With you and Dion, we're going to build it energy in our respective masterminds, right? This thing here just overlaps all of that. So I'm mapping the joint out, right? I got the 2 monetization windows, which is not a big deal. So what time is that for Namsu? That's 1 o'clock. That's 7 to 10 p.m., which is a little bit different when it's coming to work, I guess, right? So, but it is what it is, right? Not 7 because it's only 6 hours. Whatever. It's 6 to 3 p.m. 6 hours ahead of 3 is 9. 1 p.m. 3 hours. 6 hours ahead of 1 p.m. is 7 to 9, right? So that's the structure of the 5 people. That these 6 hours is the workday. For me, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. 5 hours of a workday. So as I'm saying, okay, and Jabir brought it up about his video, but we didn't get a chance to talk yet. If I'm saying either or, that's a wacky energy, having people thinking which time I got to show up, right? Right, you can lose it. I'll keep Namsu, but it'll be hard to scale, especially to 20 people. So what happens now, Dev, is my visitor said it's time to run one of the other business verticals during the other monetization period. So now you're showing up to work Philly time from 10 till 3, got to be there by 9:30, right? So 9:30 to 3 is the whole workday now with two different agendas. One monetization window, an hour. So if we get done at 12, we got to be back at 1:30 potentially. So you got to be back at 1. So you got a 5-hour workday with a 1-hour lunch, right? And so now when you come to work, then this is what the solution was in my head, which is what I barely didn't get a chance to hear yet, is instead of us having um instead of us having either or, it's gonna be what you're gonna do during the morning shift or first part of the front part of the shift, what you're gonna do after lunch. And then Sue's job is set those motions up. 5-hour workday for him, right? So that's what came to mind. Now, what do I fill the second slot with that's not trading, but we already got staff? Staff doesn't count heavy when it's Namsu, but at 1, which is where I sent the $90 now, because I'm starting that model. And now it's 4 people, 5 counting Namsu, and probably by the time we get to 5, I'll probably kick Namsu off the actual computer because he wants to be talented too, but I don't think he get was all what that entail. So my thing is by the time we go and then we not gonna get all 5 at one time potentially, but by the time we go to the full fledged of Namsu's house, is to kick Namsu off of being local talent. So he's more watching what's going on, protecting the play, and doing whatever's got to happen for the day, right? So now we got 5 people that are set to do 2 different computer activities. And now how do we fill that in, right? So that's where the overage business part comes in at, right? I got it. My judgment recovery business is in Johnstown as a business model, right? Like we don't really have anybody to add intellectual capital from. It's already in Johnstown. That's why I said I got to call back sale, get it melt up here. Like I gotta kind of put that in place. I am going to send this to Jabir, so Jabir remind me to make sure Medium Basil on the phone. And now from there, and the post office have those white boxes that are a flat rate. So I'm going to get. I got like 5 books that's coming to mind to get melt from Johnstown. So that's why I'm gonna get a whole flat rate box and start getting my library from Johnstown over to Chicago. Anyway, I wanted you to see because, which is why this is homework, right? The video, so we can have a conversation. We talk decent Friday night, so Friday night might work too, and then Sunday night again if we need to. Those seems like 2 times that were you should be at the gig, so that should be there. If you're allowed to have enough bandwidth to talk during that time. But I need you to do this stuff without me, so we're not, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's homework again, right? The thing, Dev, is I gave you the 1 free month of working with Namsu so you can get the practice. Then you can also decide if you want to use some of that slot time for your grant business, right? Because in my mind, if we got 5 people, I could put all 5 to work, and I'm just this is your first right of refusal model, right? I'm also talking with Dion about the marketing business, right? So I built something with the marketing business. Then with the fucking wow, this is coming decent. Then this is what I'm gonna do. First, let me get to the first right of refusal. I'm offering 2-part because I super appreciate the fact that I didn't have to come back around and talk to you about launching the tribe surfing because I was just saving up to as soon as we cut out bread. And me and David didn't even talk about bread on the other show. I know that he fair, we fair, we'll figure it out. Let's just get to the money, then we'll see what the pot look like, and then I know it's a breakdown. But me, 100%, I was going. That's why I built out the two monetization windows because as soon as we cleared up what we needed to do and the business shot off bread, I'm now going to start being talent because I'm sitting up for 2 hours charting anyway. I've already put Jabir in place to be able to do what he's doing. Now he just need the bread opened up to launch his vertical, which is going to include Namsu and Proxy. So all the stuff is set to come. But before it actually launches, you don't know because I don't just run around talking about each timeline because we just talk brother stuff. The minute that bread launch, these two things go into motion, and then I would still be. I probably wouldn't have got to this thought yet until Dion comes to the conversation, because Dion is what sparks local talent, right? Because he can't tribe surf right now, right? So this thought might not have came in this timing, but it would have came after we scaled up some free bread, blah 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 blah. But since we're here and it's developing how it's developing, and we're set to have people set for a 5 hour workday with only one monetization window, I'm going to fill up their time. So, one, we can have different different people working on different verticals. So we can have an overture business started. We can have a um, judgment recovery business started. And when I cut on the Gator method and um, I'm marketing to I'm marketing to wholesalers, I can have person A or 1 out of 5, so I can have person two working on the marketing business, and then letting Namsu have access to stuff, and then letting Namsu's access then turn into person two executing on stuff. So that's where the Namsu trade manager comes from. So he got the bandwidth to watch who's doing what and quality control stuff, right? And then you just got to build out the model so that we're not leaking intellectual capital to labor, right? Um, so part one, shit, I can't be out of the first brain already. Part one, let you know to play. So, if you wanted to have one of those five, two of those five allocated to your grant business once you have the month with Namsu to see even how that having a overseas person that has to report back to you even looks or if it's interesting to you. It might not be your cup of tea. Which then I'm gonna take all five and run my play. I mean, then version two of this is if you want on the profit side of these verticals, then you got to tell me so I can think it through and include you in the conversation of how I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But it happening isn't the conversation, right? If no harm, no foul either. But if it's you're not interested, then I'm just going to, while we do our part, I'm just going to save up enough $25 a week. So $25 a week times 5 people. Well, let's say 4 because Dion got one. So no, that's not even it. Actually, the money, the $25 a week we're paying them for the trading is now including the other 2 hours. So I don't have new. I'm glad I said it. I don't have new payroll to come up with. I just now have something for them niggas to do, right? And so overages is like step number one for the verticals, and that's why I'm sending it to you. I'm probably gonna send it to Dion too, because I don't really have a reason to open up this door to you and not open it up to Dion. This is what I've been working on for years, waiting to put it in place. So I'm probably gonna open it up to Dion too. So, and then I'll talk if it makes sense, blah blah blah. And again, level of interest, yada 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 yada. There's no, like, for overage business, there's no new outlay of capital, right? Because the labor is covered in the, and this is back to giving y'all both the exact play, and then we just talk brother talk. The baseline number is already in the pay, right? And then you build the equity piece. And the thing about judgment recovery is we got to go look and see who got some owed to them, where their money at, skip trace. Then we got to, from skip trace, then we got to potential judgment, default judgment. So like that's a whole model that might not have a faster return, but I love the overage business as this concept too. But judgment recovery business. But the overage business is you got money that's owed to you. We can we can find it for you at a fee, and then break through the number game from there. And then overages go by county, and it's like 3,000 counties in the U.S. Right, which is broken into the 48 states, which is the lower 48, and then the premium ones out of that, which is where the intellectual capital from Bob Diamond's group or another source, because there's other people that do overages now that I go pay attention to the space. But I like Bob Diamond. I just ain't choose to deploy the capital to come into the group, blah blah blah. So it's Bob Diamond's group, which is overages. It's Pace Morby's group, which is Gator, and then using the Pace Morby also has the subject too, right? So that's three different disciplines, right? And the overages is broken into states. So my thing for overages by itself was to have a person per state submitting information, right? And um, anyway, now I feel like I'm getting long winded, or we ducking the other work. All right, so what I need you to do is watch the overage video. Of course, watch this one, blah blah blah, and this is how I work. And I know you know me, but when I finally get to this part and I'm telling somebody something, them not moving is an answer too. So the default answer is let's just trade and that's it. So just saying nothing is that answer. You know what I'm saying? So which is why it was so decent when you say, "Yo, holla at me." What's going? Because I just won't bring it back up. You know what I mean? Because you've already answered. So which is what you did this time. You said, "Yo, let's talk," and then we're doing the other part. You see, I got right to it because I get right to stuff, right? Or I vote to not get right to it, which is a super vote on my part because I get right to stuff, right? So this is how we're sitting waiting for the hatchery to be able to produce. We're launching the mobile cafe, which then produces some level of profit, and then me letting his David's fair come in and be a number. Once it becomes a number, I'm turning everything on anyway. So this is just us going at our pace versus waiting at David's pace, right? So because I told you I was going per state, I was already super locked. Once I locked in that it's gonna be smarter to have them for the whole 5 hours versus picking and choosing, and I still get a chance to trade the shift that I want to trade or trade no shift at all by having the pay 'em in model. We already gonna have them, or I, it don't matter. We'll have them already set to have some level of activity to do all 5 days a week, which then turns into me and Amsu's conversation for managing the labor force, right? So anyway, that's my conversation. I thought that Dion's probably gonna get this as well. Um, yeah, so that's the game plan. As soon as we start paying labor, um, And of course, once me and you start, Dev, me and Dion's already agreed to Nam Sue. We haven't locked in the agreement for anybody afterwards. I just show what I'm willing to do, right? So he just got it with our agreement. But outside of that, I'm gonna save every nickel and dime like it's the penny being flipped to get the the launching of the other four people, and then get the 5 accounts for each of those journals. So those 20 accounts, paying out labor on four. Yeah, four in the front. Yeah, so like that's set to happen. And as you've seen when I gave you the numbers, starting up front with the one account and letting it go to profit, and then taking all that profit and turning on the back ones is super. We're already doing it, so that's what I'm gonna do at scale. That's why I needed him to tell me how many people he can fit in his crib. So I was just telling David last night. So it was on me that I hadn't had any talk with him. I talked to you, then I talked to Dion and Purple slightly afterwards, but I hadn't talked to David. And so I'm lightweight cheating this dude. You know what I mean? Because I can't include him if we have an agreement. So if I don't get the agreement or the first right of refusal, I'm kind of not offering it to him. That's corny, right? So um, in that model from our meeting, David expressed a high level of interest. So I am going to rework the 5 people model to include him, and then the 20 people model to include him, right? Which is y'all two know me, which is the way I'm gonna play it, right? Um, right. So let me do that real fast though. So with the 5 people model, after David said what he said last night in our meeting, with 5, we got one for Dion. We had so that way I can stay accurate and documented for the 5 model before my talk with David, which was not fair to David, right? I'm kind of answering for him, and this motherfucking beard joint is uneven. This beard, I'm gonna cut this joint. Something to me is over. My This is my right side. My left side grows longer than my right side. I'm out this bitch with a lot. I'm out with a Gumby beard. Anyway. So, hold on for a second. Shit, fucking with me. Gumby beard. Hold on one second. I can't do it that way. Okay, that's better. I still ain't do it for me though. I'm like the old nigga from the karate movie.